Welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are ranking all of Machine Head's albums from a piece of fucking shit to the best, the crowning jewel of the discography. So yeah, Machine Head is a band that has its ups and downs. They have some amazing albums, they have some not so amazing albums, but overall I think they're still good. They're a good band. I still listen to them today, and they have a lot of hits. They have a lot of good songs. So I guess without further ado, let's get into the list. Now, you all know what the worst is, so I'll just show you the art. It's Catharsis. It's the latest album from Machine Head, and it's usually, you say it's the latest, greatest, but this is the latest fucking abortion. It's awful. I hate it. It's like one of the worst albums of that year. Maybe one of the worst metal albums ever? That's a bit much. There's a lot of shit albums, and I wouldn't say it's the worst ever, but it's not good. It's not good. Like, the song, like, the lyrics in some of these songs are abysmal. Like, they're going back to, like, Limp Bizkit kind of lyrics, which I would rather listen to a Limp Bizkit album than this. I think Limp Bizkit are fun. They're a bit of fun. This isn't fun. It's taking itself too seriously. Give me the shitty lyrics on a Limp Bizkit album over the shitty lyrics on this trying to be fucking... Oh, I don't like it. I do not like it. You can tell I don't like it. There's no redeeming songs on this album. They're all awful. The lyrics in them are juvenile. Just the melodies, they don't stick in your head. Nothing sticks in your head. Nothing is good. Nothing is good. Even the singing's not that good. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand why this happened. But I was already out before this album. I was already off the bandwagon. I was off when Bloodstone and Diamonds came out, which is gonna quickly get that shit out of the way. I was out from this album. It's nowhere near as offensive, nowhere near as just awful. But I still don't like it. I'd still give this like a 4 out of 10. I don't like this album. It took me out of Machine Head. They were slowly going downhill after the blackening, and then this just threw me right out. It does have some songs which I can enjoy, which is more than I can say for Catharsis. But even the songs that I can enjoy, they're really bland. Nothing stands out on this album. It's not offensively bad, but it's just boring. This album's boring, and it's kind of safe. It's a safe kind of album, and it shows that they kind of ran out of ideas, I guess. But yeah, everything after this, as in all the other albums I'm going to talk about, I find some enjoyment in. They're all, pretty okay. This one, though, it made me not listen to the band again. And then when Catharsis came out, I definitely didn't want to listen to the band again. But Bloodstone and Diamonds does have a couple of tracks which are okay. Ghost Will Haunt My Bones has a nice little melody in it. I don't really like Now We Die. When I heard that, I was kind of like, is this it? Is this the single? It's not doing much for me. Sailing Into the Black being probably my favourite on the album, but again, I wouldn't play this again. I wouldn't put this on. Don't waste your time. Listen to the other albums. Next up, we're going to go with Supercharger. It's one of the worst of the older Machine Head albums. Got to admit, it's one of the worst. It has some fun songs. Bulldozer's quite fun. Crashing Around You's quite fun, but again, it really does lack some of the hits. I guess those two are probably the biggest hits from the album, but after that, the others are just kind of subpar. The others are subpar. Not kind of like Bloodstone and Diamonds. Nothing stands out too much compared to some of the monolithic releases they released before. But this one is just kind of drab. I prefer it to the other two because I was still hooked into Machine Head at this point. I was still there, locked and loaded. But it's not a good one. It's not a good one. So yeah, it's going here. Next up, The Burning Red. Now we're getting into albums I can enjoy. I like this album. I think it's a good album, and it has some amazing songs on. It's all about the blood, the sweat, the tears. Come on. What a great song that is live. I've seen them live and they played it and it was fantastic. Nothing Left is a really fun and catchy song as well. Not Message in the Bottle's a bit of a weird cover though. I'm not too sure why they did that. It's a bit fucking strange. I'd rather listen to the original, but it's a fun album as a whole. It's more nu metal-y. It's more nu metal-y than their other albums, which pack a bit more of a punch. But I find some enjoyment in it. It's fun for what it is. So it's going to be a bit low on the list, but it's still, this is when I start liking the albums. Next up, a really fun album, which people might crucify me for having a bit lower, Through the Ashes of the Empire. Don't get me wrong, I love this album. It has amazing songs on. The first song on the album, when it's Imperium, come on. What a fucking brutal song that is. When it just builds up with that intro, it's like doom doom. Doom 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 doom. Made it sound like a Metallica song. But yeah, I adore Imperium. One of the best Machine Head songs they've ever done. And that's not the only one on the album. Bite the Bullet, All Falls Down, Elegy. This is a great album from Machine Head. It's not just good, bland like some of the other shit. It's a great album. And deserving of high praise. It's just for personal taste. There is a couple more that I prefer, so let's get onto them. Next up, onto the Locust. It's not as good as the previous album, The Blackening. I mean, come on. It's hard to live up to that, but I think it kind of stood its own ground. Not quite as good, but nowhere near as bad as some of the other shit. And it has some catchy ass songs on, like, Onto the Locust. One of my favourite Machine Head songs of all time. I still listen to it to this day. And it's not just that. Pearls Before the Swine. Amazing song. Amazing song. Darkness Within. Great song. I'm Hell, the first song. This is an amazing album. I prefer it to Through the Ashes of the Empire. Crucify me if you want. Yeah. Fantastic song from start to finish. I love all the songs on this album. I give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. I really do love this album. I don't know why. It's just all the songs kind of sing to me more. They're more catchy. They're more proggy. A lot longer. So, adore this album. Easily one of my favourites. Next up, The More Things Change. Oh, even better. Even better. When it starts off with, like a 10-ton hammer, son, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good. Pulse-poundingly awesome this album is, from start to fucking finish. Then it goes to Take My Scars. Another banger. And then Struck a Nerve. I mean, it's just hit after hit. It's just a roller coaster of hits. Bay of Pigs, Violate, just all the songs on this album are fast and relenting, furious, and exactly what Machine Head was known for. They're now known for more proggy stuff, but well, they're now known for being shit, but back then, unrelenting, furious, love this album to bits. Now my number 2 is a surprise. It's The Blackening. Sure, everyone has this at number 1, and I can fully agree with them. It's a beautiful album. It's a beautiful album that kind of shot them back up into stardom. Best-selling album. People said it was the best of the year, and I can agree. It's an amazing album, but there's just one I prefer, so that's all I can say. But The Blackening itself, come on. Come on. Halo. What a beautiful song that is. My favourite, Aesthetics of Hate. How aggressive he is in that song from the death of Dimebag and all the journalist bullshit they had to deal with. Love that song so much. Now I lay thee down. Clenching the Fists of Dissent. Underrated as fuck. Amazing song. Just, this album is flawless. It is. It's flawless, but it doesn't have my favourite songs on. And that's the only reason that my number 1 is my number 1, so let's get right to it. My number 1 is the debut. My favourite album by Machine Head is the debut, Burn My Eyes. Burn my eyes, try to find me. That chorus is just my favourite. That's my favourite song by Machine Head. Not only that, it also has my second favourite song by Machine Head, Davidan. Let freedom ring with a shotgun blast. Let freedom ring with a shotgun blast. When those lyrics, when he sings that chorus, you just want to mosh. You want to go crazy. You want to be shouting it out from the rooftops. God, Davidan is a beautiful song. Real Eyes. I don't know how to fucking say that, but they made it as a tongue twister, alright? Amazing song, that one. I'm Your God Now as well. Love this album. It's probably objectively probably not as good as The Blackening. Seeing as that got all the awards and all the press and all that shit, but for me, Burn My Eyes will always be the best. Hopefully you enjoyed my list. Let me know what your favourite Machine Head albums are in the comments below. Is there any that you love? Is there any that you hate? Do you love Catharsis? If so, you might need a lobotomy. Put your comments below why you like it, if you do. But, I mean, yeah, that album, it triggers something in me. So tell me what you guys thought in the comments below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.